what he did with his free time for like a whole year was just play video games for 8 hours a day, smoke weed, drink. I'd come home from work and he'd be just waking up. Like, and I tried to, you know, get him to change for a long time. I mean, I gave him a whole year to change and he didn't. Essentially didn't have enough money to like go get this procedure because I just took my cat to the vet and blah, 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 whatever. And he was like, oh, like, I'll give you money if you have sex with me, like, for your procedure. So that was awful. And obviously I said no.
Crazy, it's not even his money.
No.
Using his dad's money to pay his ex-girlfriend. Like, that's crazy. You want the fuckboy that you turned.
No.
You turned him into a...
That is exactly what she wants.
No.
When I was 18 to 20, I had a man, and he literally got one of my friends pregnant in my own bed, in our own apartment. Italians are crazy. Sorry, all you Italians, but they are crazy. Very passionate, but me and him used to fist fight. Yeah, we would fist fight. Uh-huh. And then the other one was like Grand Theft Auto, like in a car, like holding out a gun while I'm driving my car. I'm like, yeah, not a fan. Literally, LA is the wildest for dating. The first one was a musician, and he stole all my music. Dating in LA, people always tell me, they're like, Cassidy, you could date, you just ignore everyone. I'm like, that is very true. That is true. But then if I don't ignore you, I get some toxic ass shit.
People have different perceptions, but one of them is they don't want the world to sort of see their girlfriend, wife, or whatever, you know, naked.
He literally had her stickers in the apartment. Like, he had her stickers and like her like...
What the fuck are stickers?
Literally her stickers of her...
Stickers?
Yeah.
What?
And then you see him just coming in his rental, okay? It was like a Charger or something. Rolled down the window, is like holding out his gun. But it's like, as an actor, he always gets in like these moods where he like feels like he's like a character or something. That's what I felt like he was thinking. And he's literally just holding out his gun while I'm trying to like take off. And I'm on the phone with my boss, like, he's chasing me. What do I do? Blah, blah, blah.
If your experience is solely based on this one incident of being with a guy who became a loser and you no longer were attracted to him and therefore you didn't want to have with him, I think it's only fair to not put too much weight on it as to say that this is who you are versus this is what the experience is.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, here with my co-host, Mohammed Molai. Today, we got a couple special guests on the show. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, name, what you do, and your star sign. And we'll start with
Star sign. I'm Cassidy, and I work with animals. I actually do a lot of things, and I'm a Scorpio.
Hell yeah. I'm Dawnya. I'm a makeup artist and set decorator on movie sets, TV shows, music videos. I also do workers' comp reports and payroll for a construction company.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I'm a Gemini.
Oh,
I love my Gemmies.
We got the two most toxic signs.
Whoa.
I didn't believe in signs until I started meeting Geminis. And then I was like, yep, it's all the same.
I
all the
love
same
my
with you
Gemmies.
guys, yeah.
That's right.
I love my Gemmies.
Where are you
get
from?
a bad rep. Where am I from? I'm from Tarzana, Chatsworth. Like, I kind of grew up everywhere. So, like, moved around from, like, Moore Park, Thousand Oaks, Santa Clarita. Kind of city hopped a lot.
Okay.
Growing up, but
Essentially
always
Southern California.
Yeah.
Cool. What about you?
I'm from Victorville, California.
Did you say how old you are?
Guess.
Ooh.
See, the problem with
this
guessing from one side, which is like men guessing women's age, is that I always have to like think, do I want to be right or do I want to be liked?
Just guess.
Guess somewhere in the
not
middle.
that deep.
How about that?
It is always very deep.
Yeah, it is. But no, it is. Some girls get
Pissed. Yeah.
Because like you look like you are 24, 25.
You're pretty close. 26.
26, okay.
Nice. See?
And you are 21.
No, but thank you. Very close. I'm 23.
Okay.
Yeah, 24 in 2 months, so you know.
What is it? May?
May 29th.
29th. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about what I want to talk about. first, which is your sister Scarlett was on the show.
Yeah, she was.
Yes. And did you knew that she was on the show?
So after you guys reached out to me, I saw that she followed you, so I asked her, and she said she was on the show. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And did you watch her episode?
No.
You didn't watch.
No.
Why didn't you watch her episode?
I watched the 30-second clip you guys posted on Instagram.
And
very busy.
Sure. What were your thoughts?
It was a lot to hear. It was sad, honestly, what you guys posted that she shared.
Why did that make you sad?
Well, because that's my sister, and obviously she was talking about the abuse that she had endured when she was a child, so
sure, that
was not nice to hear.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys are what, about 6 years? No, 5?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how old she is.
Are you sure you're sisters? It's like an adopted situation.
We are sisters. We all have different dads, but she's my sister, yes. And, she moved out when she was very young. So, I wouldn't say we're the closest, but I do love her. She is my sister. I think she's like 32?
Something. Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And so, okay, so it's safe to assume that you guys don't have like a particularly close relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I was talking to her, I was like, oh, we should have both of you on the show at the same time. And she was like, yeah, I don't know if Danya's going to like that.
Well, I love her. We're just very different people.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With very different life experiences.
And backgrounds.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. What's your relationship status?
Single. Yeah.
And is that by choice, or is that because you just
yeah.
can't find anyone?
Oh, no, it's by choice.
Okay.
By choice, yeah.
How long have you been? When was the last time you were in a relationship?
A year ago.
Okay. What was that like?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I met him when I was 19. We were together for 4 years. We lived together. We owned a car together. Like, I got his name tattooed on me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And he had mine on him.
Uh-huh.
But the last year of our relationship was very toxic. And...
In what sense?
Well, he lost his job, which was fine. Okay. But what he did with his free time for like a whole year was just play video games for 8 hours a day, smoke weed, drink. I'd come home from work and he'd be just waking up. And I tried to, get him to change for a long time. I mean, I gave him a whole year to change and he didn't. And then we broke up. And then obviously, when you break up, it's never like just a clean cut. So we tried to get back together for a while, but in that time, he did some things. I mean, I had to go get a piece of my intestine taken out to get tested because I had like stomach issues. And he, it's like embarrassing to say out loud for myself. But anyways, I essentially didn't have enough money to like go get this procedure because I just took my cat to the vet and blah 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 whatever. And he was like, oh, like I'll give you money if you have sex with me, like for your procedure. So that was awful. And obviously I said no. Let me just make that very clear because you can't pay for me. But I think that just made me realize that like he never truly cared or saw me for who I was. And like throughout our relationship, I did always feel that sex and stuff like that was like what he mostly cared about. So yeah. Also, he made a pros and cons list of me, and I found it.
What?
So that was fun.
Wait, that part seems logical. Pros and cons. You gotta see.
But
The other part, I'm on your side, but yeah, that seems actually.
He literally made a list.
He made a list.
Like wrote it down.
A physical list.
You guys act like y'all don't have lists in your head.
No, let me tell you right now.
No,
if
on
I
paper.
In your head. Though.
If I ever make a list, then it's done. It's over. I know it's done because I'm like, if I'm already trying to see like the worst and
If
best
you're already
parts of
thinking
you,
about it,
then
yeah.
it's like I'm done. Why even try? You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. The list, he actually compared me to his ex-girlfriend of 9 years ago. So that was also something
Interesting.
that was super fun.
I like to use more like Excel spreadsheets because I can
Okay.
color code it. I can have different conditional formatting.
Yeah.
I'm not like these like loser guys who do it like,
Just
you know,
on paper
like a
with
caveman.
pencil.
Like in their
What is
notes.
this,
Yeah.
1950?
He also like would erase and like
Would erase
rewrite.
it? I was
Yeah,
just
so
about
that's
to
fun.
say that.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy is my con, he actually put that I'm too ambitious, that I want to work.
Interesting.
Because he wants a stay-at-home wife that he could take care of, but then he doesn't have a job to provide for a stay-at-home wife that he could take care of, right? So,
So how did you find this pros and cons list?
oh my gosh. Well, we were already separated at this point, but he was like begging for me back, like begging, you know, and I loved him, but it
Like
was
separated,
just-
living in different places?
yeah, I moved out. I had moved out at
Okay,
this point.
so you moved out and you're separated, and then he's begging you to come back.
Yeah. So I actually went over to his house while he was packing to go to Coachella with his friends, which he did every year by himself because I don't like Coachella, so I never wanted to go. So I was like, go have fun. I trusted him. So I was there while he was packing just to like talk, hang out, whatever. And a big problem that we had when we were together is that he was a huge mess. And like nothing would ever get cleaned unless it was like me. Like I would do his laundry. I was literally a housewife, but had a full-time job. So it was very annoying. But I went over there and his house was a mess, and I don't know, just something in me felt bad, so I was helping him clean. And that's when I found the list because it was just on the dresser, like underneath a coffee cup. And so I went to grab the coffee cup, take downstairs, and I saw my name on the paper, and obviously human nature, I'm gonna fucking read it, you know? So I read it.
I would have
And,
read it, of course.
right?
Of course.
And then he
you're
tried
gonna
to
read
come at me and say I invaded his personal
Privacy,
space, and you know, yeah. And I was like, well, you didn't want me to see it, and you knew I was helping you clean. Maybe you should have moved it off the dresser.
Yeah, at
like
least
it wasn't
hide
even
it.
hidden.
Right.
So like, it's not like I went through your drawers. It was just there.
it. Put it on your phone so you're not like a sociopath.
Yeah.
Has it fucking
You
out
know?
on like
Who
magneted
freaking
to the
writes it
fridge
out?
or some shit, you know? Like,
And or like, why wouldn't you throw it away after?
yeah.
But what's crazy is like during our relationship, I actually like did think he still had feelings for his ex-girlfriend, but he always like would gaslight me and tell me I'm wrong. It's not true, even though I found a box of letters from her in his closet. Just like all this stuff, right? And then after we break up, I find this list of him comparing me to the girl that I, you know.
So that was one of the cons or one of the pros?
What do you mean?
What was so it was
Oh.
a con that you weren't like
So
his girlfriend?
It was like me, her, pros and cons list, like right next to each other, comparing us. And then there was actually a pie graph. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Like it was me, her, and then what we had in common. And then on the back, because there was more if you flipped it over, you know, he was really in depth with this. He put a paragraph of what his life would look like with me and what his life would look like with her. So that was so fun.
So one of the cons for you is that you were too ambitious.
And then I had
And-
OCD. I was too clean for
And
him.
you were too clean, and that was a pro that the ex-girlfriend wasn't too ambitious.
Yeah, because she just, I don't know.
Like she just wanted to be a housewife.
well,
or
I don't really know her. I don't know
Okay.
really anything about her.
because that was like 5 years prior to a relationship.
Yes, that's the craziest part. Is like, how can you not let something go from 9 years ago? He's a 28-year-old man. So
Okay, so you're when you were 19, you met him, and he was what 26, 27?
no, 24.
He's 24.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait, right? Yeah, I was 19.
he was 29. You said 4 years, so that
He
would
was
make him
probably like
25.
23, 24.
Okay, sure. So 23, 24. So he's just like 4 or 5 years older than you.
Yeah.
And he was ambitious and like had a good life going at the time, or like he was a loser from the beginning.
No.
Jesus.
Okay, he wasn't a loser from the beginning, or I would have never dated him.
Well, that's debatable, but I could continue.
No. He painted a really good picture. You know? And when I first met him, he was ambitious, you know? He works on movie sets as well. And, you know, he was working on a project when I met him, and he worked all the time, like throughout our relationship. It was just like that last year when the strike hit, which a lot of people weren't working, but a lot of other people got other jobs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And he just didn't. And like I would tell him like literally do anything. I don't care what you do. Pick up dog shit for $5, but like I need you to do something because it's very unattractive to come home and you're like just played video games for 8 hours and nothing else and just or smoking weed. I'm sorry, but I didn't sign up to date a 16-year-old boy, you know?
I'm going to give you one question that will help you avoid this in the future for all time. No matter how good a guy is like finessing and pretending he's wealthy or ambitious or anything like that, one question, all you have to do, ask him any question about his phone plan. How much it costs, how much data he gets, whatever, what service provider he has. If he doesn't know the answer, it means he's still on his mom's phone plan and he will never be successful. And he probably gets all his furniture off TikTok Shop and he has a bed that touches 2 walls like a poor person, just smashed up into the corner.
Well, his dad pays for his phone, yeah, because he works for his dad's company.
There you go.
So,
there you go.
You know, his daddy's rich.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, he doesn't ever have to worry about anything.
Okay, so you guys broke up a year ago. Are you over him? Or are you still...
Yes.
Okay, you're fully over him.
Yeah, I think that... Well, there was something that happened, so I feel like I didn't have closure for a long time because in July, he came to my house, literally got onto my floor and cried and begged for me back and told me, like, I want you to be my wife, please, like... There's nobody else that, like, I'll ever love as much as you. And in that moment, because I've been telling him to move on for months at that point. And
at that moment, you saw a man crying on his knees and realized you're no longer attracted
to him. Okay, but I like someone that's, like, a sim for me. But, no, it actually made me really sad. So I cried with him, you know, because I love him. Like, I loved him for 4 years. Like, that was really hard. So I... you know, was like, okay, like, I'll think about it. Like, you're right. Like, I love you too. Like, maybe I shouldn't give up. Maybe we can go to therapy. I don't know. Right. And like, it's funny because I told him I was going to like leave him for the longest time. And then when we broke up, he started going to therapy and go to church to get me back. Right. And so anyways, he's at my house crying, whatever. We end up hooking up, which sounds weird, but we hooked up even though he was like,
closure hookup happens all the time. Okay.
But then after begging for me back for months and then coming to my house and crying and saying all that stuff, then we hook up, radio silence, nothing. He just like needed to feel that power of like he was the one who ended it, you know? And then a few days later, he's in another relationship. And now they're engaged. And he was at my house in July. So make it make sense, you know? But it's fine because you know what? I was upset about it for a while because obviously I'm like, that messed with my head. And I feel like I didn't get the closure that I needed of like, why'd you do that, you know? But I don't know if I should say this, but
you definitely should.
I talked on the phone with his friend and he kind of gave me the closure that I needed of like, he was never going to be what you needed him to be. And like, he's like not saying that how he lived his life was wrong, even though I definitely think it was, but it's fine. He's like, he found someone who like wants to live that life with him and like they want all the same things and all this stuff. And he's like, you know, you guys had a great love, but you were never
you weren't compatible.
Yeah. And he told me, he was like, look, like, because my ex was very jealous, like, and I turned down a lot of opportunities, like job opportunities, modeling gigs and stuff, because he like was like, I don't want my wife to present herself to the world like that. And I'm like what? It's not like I'm naked, you know, like it was a streetwear brand, you know, but he's just very jealous and like hated the amount of attention that I would get. So, you know, his friend even said like, you would have had to be a smaller version of yourself to be with him. And you'd want to be with someone who like doesn't do that, you know? And so he was right. And honestly, just talking to him gave me closure. And then I was like, okay, hell yeah. And like, I cried that day, and then the next day I just like felt nothing. And now I look at my ex and I'm like, that was so embarrassing, you know? But like there was some good years, so yeah.
You said that he tried to pay you to have sex with him.
Yeah.
He tried to pay you while you guys were still in a relationship, or were you separated at this point?
We were still in a relationship, and that was actually the main factor of why I broke up with him.
But you guys weren't having sex?
No.
Okay, so you stopped having. How long had it been
a long time.
Like a long time.
Yeah.
And then he was like, hey, I mean, I'm just like so confused how that conversation would even make sense in his head. Like, oh, hey, a girlfriend.
I'm trying to wrap my head around it still. Well, because he knew that I had to go in for this procedure, and so I was like stressed, about money or whatever, and he was like, look, like, I'll help you, but like, you gotta like do something for me, like.
It's crazy. It's not even his money.
No.
He's using his dad's money to pay his ex-girlfriend. Like, that's crazy.
No,
that's
listen to
crazy.
this. What's crazy is he was actually just going to put it on his credit card because he had like a black card, right? But he was already a lot of money in debt on that card, okay? And wasn't paying it off because he wasn't working. And I literally said to him when he offered me the money, I was like, you don't even have money. Like, how the hell are you going to pay for it? 1. 2, I'm not a hooker. I'm not going to have sex with you for money. And you're my boyfriend. I should want to have sex with you just because I want to have sex with you, not because you're giving me money for it. You're not my sugar daddy. Like, what? So, that was a whole thing in itself. But on his credit card, he owed a lot of money. And I would tell him, like, you need to pay it off. Like, you're putting so much interest on that card, and, like, you're never going to be able to pull yourself out of the hole. Like, you need to get a job and start paying it off or pay the minimum amount. And, he was like, look, I know that it was a big chunk of money. It was $20,000. He was like, I know that $20,000 is a lot of money to someone like you, but to me, that's nothing. And I was like, that's crazy because I have $20,000 in my bank account right now and you don't. So really, it's a lot of money to you, and that's a lot of money to anybody. Like, is $20,000 a lot of money?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I wouldn't be like, oh, yes, here we go.
Yeah, but like that's a lot of money. It's a big chunk of change, So he was very degrading and just, but it's okay. Like, he has
So I don't get it. This guy had like a perfect 6-pack abs or something. Like, I don't understand. Like, what does this guy have going? Was he 6'5"? His one tattoo?
No, like, I met him when I was 19. Okay. So
it's like your first love. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it was, that. But also, he was, for the longest time, very sweet, like.
Nobody, that's the biggest sack of bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
No.
Nobody becomes like that over time. It doesn't even, okay. There's a level of ethics and morality that everybody maintains throughout their life.
Okay.
And regardless of, yes, people change drastically, change happens. However, you don't go downhill like that over time without anything
over a
affecting
year, right? Losing your job, depression.
Still, but that, to become like that, there had to been signs that you just ignored. You kept ignoring over the years, because 4 years is a long time.
4 years is a long time.
And
it was like 3.5, but I round up to 4 because
even 3 years.
Yeah. Even
3 years, and let's say it was like 3 years in, and let's say 2.5 years in, and you stop having sex with them. Mm-hmm. And to suggest that all of a sudden this guy wakes up one day and he's like, oh wow, like my girlfriend hasn't had sex with me for 6 months. Let me see if I could pay her to have sex with me. Like, that's wild to me. Mm-hmm. But then to suggest that just happened and he wasn't like that before, that's even more crazy.
I don't think it's that crazy.
No,
guys put on a front all the time.
Yeah.
Try to act like they're cool or they're whatever, love
for
bomb.
2.5 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years. I feel like before that he changed, but you didn't want to let yourself see that he changed or that he wasn't actually like that.
Well, actually, this man put me in therapy. I'm not gonna lie. I literally went to therapy because I was like,
these fuckboys are upholding the entire therapy industry. They're just like commanding the like otherwise the therapy industry would be out of business. It's just like going strong because of these fuckboys.
I know.
Crazy.
Good for them. But no. I'm telling you, like, for the longest time, he was the nicest, most genuine man that I had met, like, up to that point in my life. Like, my ex-boyfriends before him, one, I was, like, in high school and young, so I don't really count them, but, like, they would cheat on me. I had an ex-boyfriend, like, push me to the ground before, like, so for me, okay,
that makes sense.
A very, like, sweet, wholesome guy. I mean, He was, and he's very adventurous. We both love to travel, and like within our first 3 months we like went to Hawaii and like got each other's names tatted on each other. And like, you know, it just felt very like.
Yeah, I understand. So the bar was so low that in comparison to that, it was like a little bit higher. And you're like that. He was the sweetest person, but in reality, it was just.
He was, though. He was.
I believe you.
Like the bar was underground. He was just walking
Right.
on the earth and he just like walked over the bar on accident.
Yeah, you just like.
The
tripped
bar
on it.
started
yeah.
from -50 and he's like -10.
Well,
and
now the bar is
it's-
like so high that nobody could even fucking reach it. You know?
Uh-huh.
But that's okay.
Which is interesting because you said that you love simps.
I do.
Explain that.
Like, I want someone obsessed with me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, I would totally want someone else to get my name tatted on them.
Okay.
You're
Okay,
just gonna
but
have a
that's
list of names tatted on you.
No, I'm not going to get any more.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
I'm
You're
done.
gonna make the simp do it. Get
Yeah.
on your knees
Yeah,
and get
yeah,
a
yeah.
tattoo from me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
is that like a genuine thought that goes through your mind with regards to what you're attracted to, or you've just like made that up in order to have this like defense mechanism towards assholes?
No. Well, here's the thing. I feel like I want someone like obsessed with me and like whatever, but not in the beginning. If you give me too much in the beginning, I'm like, bleh, disgusting. I'm gross the fuck out. Please get away from me. Like, too much too soon is like, no. You got to wait for me to get there too. Then I want like a mutual obsession, you know, of just like.
So you don't really want a simp.
Well, I want you to simp when we're already together.
You want the fuckboy that you turned.
No.
You turned him into a simp.
That is exactly what she wants.
No.
That's
That is
what every girl wants.
exactly
No,
what
here's
you
the
want.
thing. I don't want a fuckboy. I actually changed my whole entire type because I've gone on dates and stuff, obviously.
What's your type now?
So I thought that I wanted like this, well, because you have to be into fitness because I'm super into fitness. I actually used to be a personal trainer. So for me, that's like super important. Like you gotta, I don't care what you do. You can do ballet, but you gotta do something, you know? And I thought that I wanted this just like super fit, good job, just, you know, well-rounded guy. But what I've come to learn in dating those guys is they're actually very boring. They're so boring and they're so dull. And I feel like I have a lot of hobbies. I like to do a lot of things. And then they just like will play off that and like do what I do. But like they never bring anything to the table. I don't know. Like a lot of them were just very dull and boring. So I don't know. I kind of like a musician or like an actor or something like that because it's like they have a passion. There's something that they really love. And that's so hot. Like teach me about it. Tell me about it. I want to hear all about it. It's so cool, you know?
Okay. I'm gonna come back to your toxicity later on.
Okay.
Cassidy, what's your status?
Oh no. What's my status?
Relationship status, yeah.
I'm single, but I'm like seeing someone, growing with someone.
You're single, but you're seeing someone. How long has that been going on?
So it's not complicated, but it's kind of complicated. So he doesn't live in the country.
He lives outside the country.
Yeah, he
Okay.
lives in
Have you
Gambia.
met him?
Yes.
Okay, you haven't met him in person.
Are you
Yes.
sure he's not the
Yes.
Tinder swindler?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
You said
Definitely
he lives
not.
where?
In Gambia.
Gambia. Okay.
It's West Africa.
No, I know where Gambia
Are
is.
you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure it's not a made-up country? That sounds like a made-up country.
No, see, a
Gambia?
lot of people don't know.
Well, of course, a lot of people are not very intelligent or
That's-
smart or educated.
No, some
but
people use
that's-
their brains for important things instead of where gumbo is on a map. Gumbo?
Gambia.
Gambia.
Gambia, yeah.
Gumbo.
That
What do you use your
crazy.
brain for?
Really intelligent, smart things.
Okay, yeah, I could tell.
Solving world hunger, you know,
Wow.
solving the life issues of people, you know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The
Very important.
Unattainable
Solving world
Podcast.
hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to
a
get
good
more
one.
Instagram followers so people will like me more, you know, stuff like
yeah.
that. Very
I
important.
mean, one could argue when you look at all those behind him, that would suggest that he is very intelligent and smart.
yeah, that's true.
One could say.
Have you ever met someone who they're like really good at like the Rubik's Cube?
Yes.
And then you're like, okay, are you smart because you can do a Rubik's Cube in 6 seconds? Or are you dumb because you spent your entire life learning a skill that's completely worthless to society?
But wonder if they learned it fast.
I doubt it.
You never know.
Can you-
Some people
can you
just
do a
like click
Rubik's
like
Cube?
that.
No, because I'm not a fucking nerd. Like, what do you mean? I'm not some.
But usually that's a talent people get when they're a child.
Yep.
You know?
And when they
Yeah,
do it
but
with
the
one
child
hand,
nerds grow up. Now they're adult nerds. It's all the same.
Yeah. Well,
That's
Now
their
they're
hobby.
coding.
Not in a
So-
bad
I
way.
know.
Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, you know.
True.
I'm really bad at wakeboarding. Some guys are huge nerd
Really?
guys that are.
I'm really
dorks,
good
you
at
know what I mean?
wakeboarding.
I hate you.
I stood up my second try.
I hate you. I'm never going to wakeboard.
I love wakeboarding.
Me too. I'm so
great.
good at it. It's fun.
Okay, so Gambia man meets
Gambia
you when?
So it's a great story. We actually met on Instagram, and then it's so just weirdly how we're connected. Like the house I live in now, the person that used to live in it is actually his next door neighbor, and he's from Lebanon too.
Mm-hmm.
Now he lives in Gambia. So it's just some weird intertwined thing. And then I finally went to go meet him, but we're like trying to figure out how to like grow and build together first before we like actually get together. You know what I'm saying? Because I like a man that we can work and make money together and grow, and to actually see if it'll even work before it gets like
So
too
you guys haven't
serious.
like hooked up and stuff.
Yeah, we definitely have.
Oh, okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
got
we
you.
have.
No, the way you said it, it
Oh,
made it sound like.
but
you
like
had that.
you know, like
Yeah.
labeling on it. But
Oh, so you don't want to label it because
no, we
you
both
want-
like we're not like. I don't know how to say that, but we're not like posting each other or anything right now. We're like right now
You're
we're
both
just
fuckboys.
we're building a
I mean,
business. He's actually a Gemini.
You're fuckboys together.
Wait, I've never met a Gemini man.
He's actually
That I
we
know
work
of.
great together. Sex good, business good,
Hell yeah.
laughter's
So
good.
how often does he come to the U.S.?
He hasn't been to the U.S. I went.
Oh,
Over there.
you go visit him. Okay.
We're trying to get him to go to the U.S.
Well, you're gonna have to marry him for that.
No, he
You
could
get a
come
work
here on
visa.
tourist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, potentially.
But you see what I mean? Like we're saying we work, but it's been like a year and a half.
It's been
so
a
it's
year and a
just-
half of you going back and forth.
No. This was just recently. So I didn't see him for like a year, and then I finally saw him like it was like a month ago, and I stayed in Gambia for a month to see if it even worked.
So y'all were just texting the whole time.
Yeah, like FaceTime.
Damn.
But I never thought that would happen to me. Like I never thought I would do long distance, blah blah blah. But it's actually healthy.
This guy's
'Cause
got character.
He does.
Man.
He does.
To text a girl for a year.
FaceTime for a
you're not
year?
getting Nothing.
No, yeah, we do. That's why it's like
Crazy.
it's. You know, it's just like some movie shit, and I kind of really like it. I'm into it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm
No, a
about
lot of
that.
romantic comedies they meet on Instagram for sure.
Yeah, that is it. That is it. Like I'm here for it. That goofy shit, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Some shit that you wouldn't believe, yes, it's happening.
Okay, so are you both exclusive, or are you seeing other people?
No, we're
like,
both
are you
exclusive.
allowed to? Okay, have you talked about it, or
I mean, yeah, we've talked about it, but like I don't date in LA. That's not my thing. I moved on. See, your type, my type is out of the country. Like I'm trying to have
I
a
tried
man
to
with
date
a
a few of
kid
those.
out of the country, so our kids could be like all over the world.
you have kids?
No, definitely not. No, but
Her
if
future
my
kids.
future, like that's what I want for my future kids. To,
I'm
like,
confused. You
She
said
wants her offspring to be worldly.
Thank you.
Worldly, yeah.
uh-huh.
Not
But,
just-
but you said
And
I
then they
want
can have dual citizenship.
Sometimes I word my things badly.
sometimes.
No, yeah, all the time. You're right. You're right.
Okay, so okay. So this has been going on for a year. So you were 24 when you met him, or 25, sorry, or 24-ish.
25. 25 because it was December, but I turned 26.
Okay,
So
so
yeah, 25.
24, 25.
Yeah.
Up until then, what happened that made you feel like you have to go outside of the U.S. in order to meet guys?
That's a good question. So I never thought this was even gonna happen because the time we were talking for within the year, like we'd take off for a month, but then we'd always come back to each other. And I've never been out the country, so my first time going out the country was in the end of January this year, and then I went to Dubai, I went to Egypt, and then I was like, you know what, I want one more stop, but I was like, let me go to Gambia, because I was gonna go to Lebanon, but there's no way I'm going to Lebanon right now because
Sure.
he grew up in Lebanon, but he's not even Lebanese, which is actually hilarious. So with all the wars and stuff happening, he went back to Gambia. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to West Africa. Like, might as well. Like, I'm that type. Like, if I want it, I'm going to go get it. So I went. And that's just how it happened. And we ended up clicking.
Uh-huh.
And it's amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's
that.
dope.
going back to the question, what what was your dating history before that
Oh,
in
I
the
didn't
US?
date for 8 years. I mean, like, I had situationships, but I just don't like to deal with bullshit. Because when I was 18 to 20, I had a man, and he literally got one of my friends pregnant in my own bed, in our own apartment. And that's when I got started in LA, actually. And that, like, fucked me up for the longest time. And then all the guys I dated here, I'm going to call them situationships. I'm not going to call them relationships. Were fucked up. Like, fucked up.
No, I always tell my friends, you're not going to find your husband in LA.
No.
We're just not.
Like, what?
You guys have to find the good guys.
The one man, we'd always, an Italian man. Italians are crazy. Sorry, all you Italians. But they are crazy. Very passionate. Very passionate, but me and him used to fist fight. Yeah, we would fist fight.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one was like Grand Theft Auto, like in a car, like holding out a gun while I'm driving my car. I'm like, yeah, not a fan.
It sounds like you're picking a type.
Well, see, but that's why I changed it, because I was like,
Okay.
I'm unhealed myself. Like, why am I doing this to myself? I would just like actually do that to myself. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, I would.
But
I'm unhealed, so I'm attracting unhealedness.
Yeah.
But is that an LA thing, or you're just like picking ghetto dudes?
Instead of you.
Well,
thing.
that's what's even crazier is because
they
not
seem
that-
normal at first.
Well, the first one.
Like this guy was like talking about his 401k at the first date, and he's like, "Yeah."
Hell no.
Like, what?
Okay, no, the one that
Gun
held the
sideways,
gun.
like-
The one that held the gun comes from a good family and actor. Actors are crazy. They get into like characters. Yeah. They like think they're in a fucking movie, bro, and
Where
they
do
will
y'all
act it
find
out.
these cartoon guys at?
L.A.
Where I want to
Where we are, babe, right now.
Literally, L.A. is the wildest for dating. The first one was a musician, and he stole all
You're the
my
best,
music. But he was crazy. He'd be a drug addict and shit. Like, don't do the druggies, okay?
No, that's actually something that.
And I was young and unhealed. You know, I'm those living like on the road type shit. Like, fuck it.
But do you think it was because, like, I get it, but do you think it's because like subconsciously you're attracted to this excitement and this danger and this
Well,
energy
probably.
and this attraction that you have,
Probably.
instead of like
I was running from my own self.
like you probably met like some dude who's like has like a 9 to 5 at Chipotle headquarters or
Yes.
something, and like you're like, this guy's fucking boring, and you're like, and he's like, I have a 401k, I have
See,
a great
that's
credit
my-
score, I have a lot of LinkedIn followers, you know, and you're just like,
That's my
credit
issue
score.
with like dating in LA. People always tell me, they're like, Cassidy, you could date, you just ignore everyone. I'm like, that is very true. That is true. But then if I don't ignore you, I get some toxic ass shit. So I'm like, you know what, Cassidy? Maybe you need someone not so close to you, or like, you know, because when you're with someone 24/7, it really just doesn't work out. I'm realizing.
you're like relationships work out with me when we don't spend a lot of time.
Yes, because then you could just
Well, then it
build it
feels
up.
more
Like
The
special.
quality
sex is
time
great.
is like on the bottom of your pyramid.
Because then when you see each other, the sex is great. You're
That is
fucking
true.
like 4 times a day, like, you know. And then you go back home and you're like, "Fuck, I miss you." And then you're like, "I miss you," and then it's just good. They're like, "Let's make money," and I'm like, "Yeah." Then when you see each other again, it's like,
Interesting.
you know, it's like just a different type of exciting than toxic.
So based on your past experiences, is it safe to theorize that the only reason why you haven't experienced the toxicity with this guy that you're currently dating is as a result of the distance, but not because he is not toxic?
Well, I feel like I have an obsessive personality. Like, I'm gonna be honest about that. I do. So if, like, we've been getting to know each other for a long time. Like, there was toxic moments, like, even over the phone. Like, I'm the type, like, why didn't you answer my phone call? You know, but he was, like, patient enough to, like, deal with it. Like, we even took, like, I'm learning about myself. I'm going to be honest. I'm learning about myself. He's just patient. He just sees things differently. So, like, I'm sure everyone has their toxic side, but I think I'm more healing myself and my obsession and, like, my, like, possessive personality, and he's being patient with it, and I'm seeing that on the outside, and he's allowing me to. Instead of like, I saw you every day, I would never heal.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Okay. That's.
I know. I get it. It's like
It
confusing.
makes sense. It makes
I want
sense.
to talk about. I want to talk about some of these
Oh Lord.
craziness.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the guy who made your friend pregnant in your bed. So what's that
So
story?
that's like some hometown things up in Victorville. Had a man, we were perfect, years on end.
How long were you guys together?
3 years?
3 years. So
3
this
years.
is from like
This is like I was 17.
17. Okay.
Yeah, 17, 18, 19. 17, 18, 19, 20-ish.
Okay.
And I guess it was just like a time where you're just falling apart, I guess. I don't really even know where it went wrong, but something went wrong, obviously. And he was just messaging this girl. And what's even crazier about this situation is he didn't tell me anything. I guessed it because I knew something was off with him. And I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And we were kind of split at this point. And he went to this rave with her. I'm like, why do you always
with your best friend?
A friend. I'm going to say a friend. Yeah.
But I mean, at the time, was she your best friend or was she your
She was
friend?
a friend. But she was a closer friend. Yeah.
Got it.
I don't think they're friends now.
Hell no.
No, of course.
But then he was just hanging out with her all the time. But we were still living in like an apartment trying to like figure it out, like what we were going to do with our life, I guess, basically. So me and my friends went to this rave, and then he goes to this rave with her. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are
you guys running to each other there?
Yeah. I'm like, why are you going to this fucking rave? Like, why are you going with her, first of all? And then just like, he was being really distant, not really telling me anything. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's going on?
You lived together at the time.
Yeah. Like, what is going on? I was like, what? Did you get her pregnant or something? And then he looks at me. And he literally, like, his eyes were like, he was puking out his mouth, basically. Right. How the fuck did you guess that?
Right. No denial moment.
No denial. And now they're on, like, kid number 3 or something. But crazy work.
Wow.
But, like, God bless.
I mean, it sounds like they worked out.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't meant for me because he's not into, like, the LA, the modeling. I don't think he really liked when I started getting into modeling and stuff like that.
Sure.
Maybe that's when we started separating.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know. Well, I mean, small
Insecure
town
men
boys,
just,
like blue collar workers, small town boys, like they just want to stay in their hometown.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, it has nothing to do with insecurity.
Yeah.
Well, not wanting your girlfriend to model, but like, I don't know, it's just like a weird thing.
They're just
like,
not used to that life.
People
up
have
in the
different
desert.
perceptions, but one of them is they don't want the world to sort of see their girlfriend, wife, or whatever, you know, naked.
Well, who the hell said we were naked?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying in general. Like, I mean, I don't know if you're going to be naked or not, but typically speaking, models don't like stop at like, you know, having a whole full like blanket over them, right? Like you'll start to take, why don't you take this off? Why don't you take that off? And it's just slowly everything comes off, and then you're left with, you know, nothing but your hands covering your vagina. So
like
technically speaking, you know, it does happen. But the other side of it is, I mean, you could, I guess, argue this is insecurity, but the reality of it is nobody, whether you're a man or a woman, want to sit at home and constantly be thinking to yourself, is there somebody going to be like hitting on my significant other?
Well,
are they going to be like, but who the fuck?
Especially when you don't know about it. Like, he's from my hometown. He's not a part, like, he doesn't know nothing about LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally just, like, works on cars or something. So it's, like, a total different life for him, and I totally get it. Like, just we went two opposite ways. And I'm not about to just stay there and just, you know, this is not me. Like, I grew up dancing. Like, I'm a very outgoing person. But now he has his happy little family, bro.
So you guys break up.
So happy for him.
So you guys break up. You move out, which I'm assuming there's, like, a ton of drama, obviously, within that period. And then you meet.
So what's even funnier about that, I even agreed to be like stepmommy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You were in deep with this guy.
I was in deep. Like, this is my first love, bro. Like, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, let me be. But then one day, he just stopped answering his phone. Totally just cut me off forever. And I was like, thank you, God. Because if I was stepmommy I would have killed myself. Come on, bro. Who does that?
Yeah.
Let me just give away my life to be a stepmommy to you. What?
You'd have never gone to Gumbo, you know?
Gumbo.
You'd have been stuck in LA.
Okay.
I would have never went to LA.
Yeah.
So and then so
crazy.
afterwards, so he essentially ignores or blocks you or whatever. And then you move on and you find the guy with the gun.
No, that one is after the Italian.
Oh, you
First
find the Italian.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Italian. And it was even crazier about
That's the guy who you guys were punching each other.
Yeah, we would always fight.
Is he bigger than you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, a lot bigger than you. Like,
Yeah.
what was his height?
6'4".
6'4". So he's 6'4". You're what? You're like 5'11"?
I'm 5'9".
Okay, 5'9".
Heels 5'11", I guess.
Okay, cool. Wait, what?
With heels 5'11"?
With heels, 5'11". Okay. And so some of the words you say, I don't understand.
I'm a mumbler.
Yeah. So okay, so then he's much taller than you. Is he much bigger than you? He's like skinny.
No, he's bigger.
Okay.
It's like one of those stories. Everything's perfect at first, and then drugs get involved.
And have you always been physically aggressive or
No.
Okay, so you met. Okay, so then tell this story how it all started.
It was all perfect and dandy at first. We met at a party in LA on the 4th of July. Everything was perfect. He's a musician. We're at the studio. It's like I was homeless at the time because, I just moved out of the apartment. We're like literally road dogs together. Like going everywhere together, doing all this shit. Baby. Like, like that rock star lifestyle might not make it. And then just like drugs happen, like people on drugs, people on Xanax, just not in the right mind. And then I'm still fucking with that one ex, right? And I'm telling the one that got that girl pregnant. But I told him at the time, like, I'm still trying to, like, pursue it. This is what I'm trying to be stepmommy. Okay? And I told him at the time, but he didn't like that. And then things just got toxic. But I'm also going to blame it on the drugs, too, because drugs are bad. And he's a lot older than me.
How much older?
He's probably, like, 34 now.
Okay, so he at the time... He was
probably, like, 26, 27.
Okay, so he's, like, 6-7 years older than you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, okay, so then what leads to the whole gun pulling and punching?
That was another guy.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
But Jesus. The punching.
Keep up, come on. It's not that hard to track.
I grew up in Victorville.
Is that like the same? I've never been to Victorville. Is that like the same?
Victorville,
thing?
That's where Ryan Garcia's from.
Oh, okay. Oh, it adds up now.
It does add up. The reason why I can't keep track is because it's very hard for me to. I've never personally experienced such dramatic and toxic relationships. So, for me to put
2 and 2 together.
No, not 2 and 2 together. For me to put like different people at all different levels of toxicity to this extent is kind of just like mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Italian guy. So at what point does it get physical and
we were together we're on and off.
And I'm assuming you initiated the physicality.
No.
He did. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, he did. I'd just be self-defensive myself. But then it's just
self-defensive myself.
Like, what are you supposed to do? And then I just get aggressive, and it was just like that point. Like I would scream or like I would do some shit like that. Then he would just like pounce.
Like pounce, like punch
pounce.
And clap, or like what?
Like there was this one time, I was like running in and out of the apartment. This is when he cheated on me with a porn star downstairs. This is crazy work that I'm talking about this out loud. But I went upstairs. He comes in. He takes my favorite face wash and he slaps me across the face with it. And I have face wash like in my eyeball, trying to get out of this apartment. Okay, and thank God my best friend left her car there. Thank God. So I ended up running downstairs to my best friend's car and I'm trying to run away and he's running after me in this car and he's like banging on the car while I'm trying to get away. I left all my stuff there. Like, this is wild shit. I will never date an Italian ever again. They belong together. Because I couldn't be as passionate as he needed me to be. And I think that's what it caused.
Yeah, that's an interesting
like, because I wasn't like fully invested. You know how
you said your new relationship is kind of like a movie?
Yeah.
I feel like these ones are the movies. These are the movie
But this one is like a romantic
like, pitch
movie.
These scripts to the producers.
No, my life is a fucking movie, bro. But that shit, I just felt like, oof. You live and you learn, and I wouldn't like take it away for the world because I learned so much. Hell yeah, I lived and I learned.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So that on your cons list? Slaps with face wash?
I never made a cons or pros list, but I was in fucking planet Pluto or something. I was in I need healing.
What exactly led to him slapping the face wash to your face?
There was a conversation that happened, and it just like pissed
Which
him
was
off
what?
and set him off. Which was what? I think it was when he cheated on me with the porn star. But then I have an attitude, so when I like, you know, like I probably instigated it, and then it just goes from there.
Okay. When
There's a lot
did
of
when did he
conversations.
cheat on you with the porn star?
It was when I was away.
And then how did you find out?
Because he literally had her stickers in the apartment. Like he had her stickers and like her like.
What the fuck are stickers?
Literally her stickers
Like
of her
her porn
pussy.
stickers?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? But he didn't really give a fuck. Like people be high on Xanax and shit.
So what did he say?
What did he say?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
And then what did you say?
What the fuck?
And you start yelling and screaming, and that leads to him slapping you with the face
Yeah,
wash?
I'm gonna say the drugs lead to a lot of things. Like being high off Xanax and sipping your lean will lead to a lot of little pounce offs that people go through.
We need to get you on this website. It's called Christian Mingle. Like, you need to just go on there and find all your dudes on there.
Yeah,
You
right.
do not choose well.
No.
Like,
Well, that's
you're-
why I'm saying there were situationships. I don't really.
So was that
I'm called that healing era.
was that the end of the relationship, or does the relationship continue after the face wash?
No, that was just kind of like it kind of ended after that. Like, you know, the situationships where you go back and forth, and then it just ends.
And then you meet the guy with the gun.
No, that happened like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and he's a sober gopher. Like he's a sober gopher. Just me and him did not click. He didn't have a job. He was trying to pursue acting. I'm the one working. He's like mama made. Mama pays all his bills. That type of vibe. But I thought I found a good guy. Oh, wow. Girl, no.
I don't understand how you guys can think that you found.
I admitted it.
I'm like trying to like my brain
I
is
can
going like
explain it to you
doesn't
more
have a
in depth.
job, blah blah blah, mama's boy, doesn't pay his
I
own
think
rent.
it's more like, honestly, I'm going to be honest with myself. I think like, because he gave me a place to sleep. You know, I was always a child on the run. You know, I was in it for the wrong reasons, respectfully.
Well, a lot of girls think with their heart more than
Like,
their brain, you know.
I was in it for the wrong fucking reasons, 1000%. And then it's just like someone to cuddle at night. Oh my gosh, he's cute. We literally met at a club. That's bad. Meet someone at a club, they're not your man, okay? Like, that's just, and then it's just the obsessive thing. Oh, he'd come pick me up from the ranch in the desert. Oh my gosh, he's driving so far to come pick me up. What a good guy. Girl, no. And then it's just toxic after that. We were out one night. People have anger issues. Like, he has a switch flip. Then I have a switch flip if you switch flip on me. So, like, don't fucking talk to me like that. I'm that type. I'm not the type to, like, back down. And then we were out one night, literally in, like, Santa Clarita or something. And it was bad. He, like, threw my bottle. He, like, pushed me. And I'm, like, in the car. And he, like, slammed my head against, like, the window or whatever. And I called one of my old bosses because I was really close to my old bosses. And I was like, could you come pick me up? Like, literally crying at 3 a.m. in the morning in Santa Clarita. So they come pick me up, and he sees that they come pick me up. So they follow us home. He's in, what do you call them? Like the parking garages. He's literally following us up the parking garages to my car, and he's literally chasing me out the parking garage. That's when he's like, and my car was like kind of broken at the time because I used to drift cars, and I was emotional, and I drifted my car off the side of off an on-ramp. And so I fucked up my car. So crazy. It's like Grand Theft Auto shit, like, swear to God. And then you see him just coming in his fucking rental, okay? It was like a Charger or something. Rolled down the window, is like holding out his gun. But it's like, as an actor, he always gets in like these moods where he like feels like he's like a character or something. That's what I felt like he was thinking. And he's literally just holding out his gun while I'm trying to, like, take off. And I'm on the phone with my boss, like, he's chasing me. What do I do? Blah, blah, blah. I ended up getting away because I ended up recording him, and then he went off right away. Then that was the moment we ended that one. Never spoke to him again. But
What did he say when he pulled the gun?
what did he say?
Yeah.
Fuck you. I was focused on trying to get away. I just saw the gun and I was like, what do I do to get him off my ass? So I took out my phone to try to record him and he went away. Because you can't show his mama that. If I told his mama that, he would lose all.
You should tell his mama that. God damn.
But she already knows how her son is. I'm not gonna bring, like, fuck that. I'm just gonna leave it alone. And I left it alone. And then ever since then, I was like, I'm done with myself. I'm done. I'm blaming myself for these choices 1,000%. Because if I have it one time, I'm letting it happen multiple times. That's my fault. So respectfully, yeah.
You gotta hire someone to just follow you with a camera. I feel like you could make some like pretty good documentary series or something on Netflix.
I really fucking would.
Yeah, but then you gotta stop dating Gumbo and come back to back to your old.
No.
Come back to the streets.
Gumbo is crazy. That's wild. No, I've been good ever since.
So now you're so okay. So is it safe to say that you haven't slept with anybody since the last time you slept with? Okay.
Yeah. Cause I like.
You don't really
I
care
love
that
sex, but like I like it just with one person.
Got it.
Cause I be getting bored. Like I get bored. Like if I don't feel anything, they're gonna be like, why don't you like this? And I'm like, cause I don't. Like I need like to feel something.
Like you're sitting there like texting.
That would be.
She's like watching the show on TV. She's
literally
so
like.
She's like, can you shut
Guys
the
will be
fuck
like,
up?
I feel like you don't like me, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Cause you're right. Like swear to God, dude. Like this is when I need to feel something.
I got a hard out at 8:15, but you guys can keep rolling.
Sure. So, what do you consider cheating exactly?
Cheating?
Yeah. At what point can you say that somebody has cheated on you?
Cheated on me.
Yeah.
Well, definitely having the wrong intentions with someone is cheating.
Okay, so intention.
Like if like.
So if they thought about it, they cheated.
Sorry, because you're gonna do it. In my mind, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't want to be with someone that's gonna think about it. Why would I want you? Because then it just gets toxic from there, you know? Jeez. I mean, like, yeah. No, I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with that.
Okay. Okay, Dawnya, what do you consider cheating?
What do I consider cheating?
Yeah.
Shh, don't even look at another girl. No, I'm kidding.
That's a funny word.
What do I consider cheating? Entertaining other women. I mean,
What does that
entertaining
mean
other women.
specifically?
like texting another girl, liking her stuff on Instagram, like her stories, commenting, stuff like that. I mean, unless she's your friend, which even then, so that's a sticky situation.
Okay, so I go and I like another girl, some random girl's photo.
What's the photo?
I don't know, some like modeling photo that you think is so okay to do.
Okay, let me tell you, I have modeled and I've never gotten naked personally. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but for me personally, I haven't. So if
whatever type of photo you would put out that you have shot, let's say that.
Okay, that's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: if he's going and liking other girls' like bikini pictures, like why are you liking that? Why do you need her to know that you liked seeing her on the beach in a bikini? You know? Yeah. Like,
what do you mean?
What is the point of that? You know? But if it's your friend and she posts a fucking selfie, sure, go ahead, like it. I don't care. Like, that's different. But
it's the intention.
It's yeah. I mean, like, the guys that are liking my stories, they're not liking it just because they're like supportive of my fucking selfie. They're liking it because they're like, you're hot, you know, and it usually comes along with the DM. So, yeah.
What are those DMs like?
What do you mean?
Just like give us a snippet, like a trailer of these DMs.
Well, it ranges. I actually have it to where like a lot of my DMs actually go to requests, so I don't even see a lot of them, which I prefer it that way.
You don't check your requests?
I usually don't.
Okay.
It's every once in a while I will. But usually when I go in there, it's some weird shit that I don't want to see, you know? Some people being like, you know, just I once opened a DM and it was me on an iPad and this guy recording himself jacking off to me on an iPad. So that was really really uncomfortable. And like, it's like, you know, it happens, but you just like don't want to know that it happens. Like, you don't want the confirmation. So yeah, I try not to open those. But other than that, it's just like people asking me out on dates a lot of the time.
It sounds like this guy is very obsessed with you.
What guy?
The guy jacking off to your photo and sending you
But it's just
you a
some
video.
random guy that I don't even know. Yeah. I had guys from like high school DM me and they are like, we'll pay you for nudes, like blah blah. And I'm like, that's crazy. No, never done it. But I'm like, I literally know you. Like,
They know
I'm
the
so
younger
confused.
version too.
I'm so confused. Like, don't you have any like shame? You know? I don't know. Just
Is there a price that you would say yes to?
no.
$1 billion.
No, the answer is no.
You would not say yes to $1 billion.
No, I wouldn't. I haven't. I've had someone offer me $5,000 for a photo of my tits, and I said no.
Well, yeah, you also had a guy giving you $20,000 to sleep with him who you were already sleeping with.
Hey, he didn't offer me $20,000. That's just how much he was in debt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still would have said no. But he was also
regardless,
my boyfriend.
he was, which is kind of, it's interesting because I mean, I agree with you, but it's a very interesting concept to when you think about it, where if you logically think about it and take emotion aside, and the fact that you've already been sleeping with this person, you have already slept with this person, and there's this moment where he's like giving you money to sleep with him once
What
again,
money?
and it's what that's a hypothetical.
Daddy's money.
But that's besides the point, you know. But what's other than that is interesting, the contrast between you and your sister, which is,
Well, I'm not for sale. Let me just put that out there right now. You can't buy me.
no, of course, but that's what I'm saying. The mentality being so different, because I feel like if that was I mean, it's just it's interesting to be so different and have such different belief systems.
Well, like I said, we have completely different life experiences.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to speak too much on my sister's story because that's not my story to tell.
Of course.
But, you know, she got pregnant very young and with a guy that was way older than her and not a good guy. And she had her own experience with life and she moved out very young as well. So, you know, she moved out and I was still a kid. So, you know, she went off and just very different life experiences. So, you know.
What's the oldest you would date? Oh, I guess the question should be, what's the oldest you have dated?
Okay. Well, recently, this is the oldest guy I've ever gone on a date with, okay? And he was 42.
Okay.
And I think that it was too old for me.
Why is that?
You know, he he like wants like a wife and like to settle down, and you know, I'm 23, like I don't want to be a wife. Like my ex wanted to propose to me for the longest time, and I literally told him, if you propose to me before 25, I'm saying no, for the simple fact that I'm under the age of 25. Like that's crazy. Everybody I know that's gotten married young always regrets it, and like I just didn't want to be that person. And so I also don't really know if getting into a relationship is what I want right now. I think like going on dates is fun, you know. I'm like, pursue me, take me out, you know. But I just think, I don't know, you know what, and maybe it could have just been him. I don't know, maybe I just like don't want to date him. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Cassidy, what's the oldest you would date?
Well, probably like mid-30s.
Mid-30s.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wouldn't go out with the 42-year-old.
No, because I want to like grow with someone.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
exactly.
like, yeah, I like want to grow with someone and like learn off each other. Like I've never had a sugar daddy, and I like that younger. I like that younger dick. I'm sorry, but that's my thing. Okay?
I want to make it very clear. I did not sleep with him. Did not sleep with him.
No,
but no, I agree. Like if you
Yeah.
already have all your shit figured out, then it's kind of like it's not fun when you can't go with someone, you know, like I want to have goals together. Let's
Yeah.
accomplish it. That's so hot.
Exactly.
It's so fun.
Exactly.
But like, if you already have it all figured out, well then like I'm figuring out and you want me to just like go along with the life that you have. And like, no, I got my own shit I want to accomplish. And like, it's too much sauce.
How did you meet this 42-year-old?
Actually, through somebody else that I dated. They were friends.
Nice. How old was the other person?
Keep digging.
He was 35, I believe. Which, that was a fine age.
Yeah, good
And you know
age.
what? He was amazing. Perfect. I actually really, really liked him. The problem was that he had a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was like, I don't want to be a stepmom. You know?
I get that, girl.
Especially at 23. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I did really like him. And he treated me so well. And he was so amazing. And, like, did all the sweetest things for me. But at the end of the day, like, I just don't want to. I don't want that part of my life yet.
So then how did you meet his friend?
We were out at like a group dinner
Uh-huh.
and his friend was like hitting on me all night and I was like, this is very awkward. And
How long have you guys been dating at this point with the 35-year-old?
2 months.
2 months. So you've been
Yeah.
dating for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
He takes you to this group dinner and his friend is hitting on you the
Mm-hmm.
whole night. And what is this guy saying?
So, well, his friend or the guy I dated.
The 35-year-old, what was he saying?
So he actually came up to his friend and said, stop hitting on my girl.
Uh-huh.
Because it was like very obvious. And his friend was just like, oh yeah, I'm just kidding, man. Like, I'm just fucking around, whatever. And I was like, And like, I didn't think anything of it at the time. Obviously, I thought that guy was attractive, but I was like not interested.
Mm-hmm.
But that night, the guy I was dating actually asked me to be exclusive with him.
Uh-huh.
And I said yes because I felt pressured. Okay. And I didn't, know how to navigate why I would want to say no to him yet. So I just said yes in the moment. And then I went home and I was like, I actually don't want to be exclusive with this guy because he has a daughter and I was having fun getting to know him and I was actually only seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that if we like established exclusivity and kept dating that, eventually it would turn into something more serious. So that I was like, I don't want because you have a daughter and I don't want that part of my life yet. So we hung out one more time and then I ghosted him.
Uh-huh.
I'm a ghoster too.
But I don't do it anymore. I actually felt so
I'm a ghoster.
bad. I actually felt really guilty because I was like, you know what? If somebody ghosted me, like, I wouldn't like that. So now if I'm not interested in someone, I just say, hey, like, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. So like I feel better about that, but I do feel really bad about ghosting him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then you no longer replying to this guy, and then how long after that did the friend hit you up? Or did you hit up the friend?
I didn't hit up the friend.
Uh-huh.
The friend hit me up on Instagram. And
Wait. Did he hit you up after, or did he hit you up after the dinner and then you guys are just talking?
months later.
Okay.
Months later.
Got it.
Yeah. And then
Months later, he hits you up saying what?
I don't even remember. Just
Something.
like said something dumb and then
Uh-huh.
he just replied and then we like chatted a little bit and then he was like text me, put his number, and then I texted him and we texted and he took me out to dinner and that was it. Like we just went on one date.
Uh-huh. And then you decided this is not for you because he's too old, or because you just couldn't relate.
Well, it's not even that. Like the thing is I feel like on the date I felt like I was on a date with someone my age mentally,
Uh-huh.
which I didn't like.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
Like I date guys older because I want a more mature man because men my age are, well,
Yeah.
you can't even call them a man,
Sure.
Boys. And I just felt like the conversation was very not what I wanted it to be. Like it was very like immature and very just, I don't know, not it. And so that was that. But then also too, like I know that like he wants to like settle down with someone and like have that like, and I just like don't think that's what I want right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
how do you feel about your significant other masturbating or watching porn?
I'll watch it with you.
Well, I don't care if you watch porn. Like, I actually want you to masturbate because I'm like, less for me. You know, like sometimes I date these guys that are like way too horny for me, and that's, you know, just go masturbate, please. Like, leave me alone. But I think that there could be like an unhealthy addiction to it as well.
Sure.
You know, so I don't care as long as you have like realistic expectations and like not an unhealthy obsession. I think if you're watching porn every day, then like I don't like that, and I think that's like a problem.
Okay.
Personally.
You said these guys are too horny for you. What does that mean? Like, does it, like how often is enough, and how often is too much? Well,
it just depends. Like in the beginning of a relationship, like obviously when you start having sex, if it's good, you want to have sex all the time. But then like you date for a few years, and it's like, I don't want to have sex with you every day, you know? Like, at least it's just me. Like, I'm good. But like, I don't know what's the right answer here.
I mean, I don't know. It's because you said few years, and it sounds like the only person you were a few years in a relationship with was the one guy.
Well, I had an off and on relationship for 2.5 years.
Okay.
Before that, a few years before that.
Yeah, but that's like your teenage years. That doesn't really count.
Yeah, but
so I mean, recently. So then I guess your only experience of like a guy wanting sex every single day was probably your ex. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And it just sounds like you didn't like him.
In the end, I didn't like him, but I did like him for a long time. I just think that, I don't know, like for me, once you get comfortable with someone, it's not that I don't want to have sex with you, because I do, like obviously, but like you just don't have that lust of wanting to do it every day anymore. I don't know. So like,
so if a guy still has that for you, then
it gets a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Like if I say no, and then they're like, "Come on," I'm like, "No means no. Doesn't mean convince me. It means no." And then like they think I'm like aggressive and mean, and I'm like, "No, but I think you're fucking weird for trying to convince me to have sex with you when I told you I don't want to."
And so so what if a guy says, "Okay, that's fine, that's fair, but then I'm gonna go have sex with somebody else then."
Then we're done. It's
So
not
you
like
want
I'm
it
not
both ways.
ever having sex with them. Let me just make that very
No,
clear.
I understand that. I just think
It's just not every day.
I get it. I get it. But I do think, as much as it is a need to eat food, it is a need for some people to have sex.
Yeah. Well, then
Right.
I'm not your girl. If you're someone who needs to have sex every day, I am not your girl. Period.
Just don't guys like have to like release, or it hurts or something like that?
Yeah, well, go jack off.
Right?
Well,
Is that a thing, right?
But what it brings me.
Or is that like a lie?
But that's the thing. No,
It's something they made up so then we would have sex with them.
It's true to a certain extent.
Okay.
But then what I would ask is, why are men expected to accept women hormones, but women don't accept men hormones?
I do accept it. And again, it's not like I'm not having sex with my partner. It's that if I don't want to have sex, I shouldn't have to.
Of course, 100%. Nobody's saying you should force yourself.
Okay.
That's never the argument. The argument is that if you are being
And the only reason, sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
The only reason that I stopped having sex with my ex for so long is because I wasn't attracted to the man that he became.
But that was my point from the very beginning, that you didn't like him, so you stopped having sex with him.
I didn't like how he was acting. No. Like, is it hot to come home and like he's just waking up at 3 p.m. and then gets right on the game
100%.
and smokes weed? No. For me, I was like, bleh. Like, this is disgusting. Like,
I agree.
I'm not trying to date a little kid.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And so which brings me to this, that if your experience is solely based on this one incident of being with a guy who became a loser and you no longer were attracted to him, and therefore you didn't want to have sex with him, I think it's only fair to not put too much weight on it as to say that this is who you are versus this is what the experience that you had.
Yeah, but I have dated, people, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the guys that I've dated, like, they expect to have sex so soon, first of all, which I don't do. So, like, for me, I was like, no. But
you don't have one night stand.
No.
No. So how long do you wait until?
Well, it just depends. Like, I can't put like an exact
if you're
date
feeling
on it.
it,
If I'm feeling it,
you're good.
Hell yeah.
So if you're feeling it, the first day is okay.
I've only done that one time.
Okay.
First day, and then other than that, no.
So it's not so much that you won't do it on the first day. It's just more so that like you wait to see how long it takes until you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Which, like, can range.
Of course, 100%. There's no generalizing how long it's going to take to.
But I feel like with the men that I have dated, at least, kind of like expect sex really soon, which I think like a lot of people have the mindset of like try before you buy, and I'm like, no. like I like obviously want to know that when I'm in a relationship with someone, the sex will be good and like all that stuff, but
what I always tell
too
people
soon
is no, of course. What I always tell people is that if you want to have a meaningful relationship, the minimum amount of time not to have sex is 3 months. Because that's the amount of time that it'll take you to emotionally get to know someone and feel the emotional sort of attachment in a sense and attraction before you move on to the physical aspect of things, which then tends to confuse a lot of people early on if they end up having sex early. But some people do argue that you want to get to know the person. What if they're bad in sex, or what if they're, you're not compatible sexually? Most of the time, that's something that you could learn and improve over time. So it's not,
I agree with that. And also for me, sex is very like if I don't like you, it's not going to be good. Like if I don't feel an emotional attachment to you and I don't like, like I can't just like have sex with a stranger because like, that wouldn't be good. It would not feel good. I'd be like, who the fuck even are you? Like,
sure.
I don't know anything about you. I don't know your morals. Like I need to know, shit about you before I could even be attracted to you in that way.
I'm assuming the answer for you is just do it as soon as you see them.
No. No. Hey, mine took a year. I waited a whole year for that.
Well, for the one guy.
Yeah. But like the emotional attraction, like I have to feel it, or else like I just do. I hang out by myself a lot. Like I'll masturbate before I have sex with someone that I don't want to have sex with. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather just like keep my energy to myself. If you do it on the first day, yeah, go ahead. Like I have done it. It's been a thing, but I don't enjoy it. Because then you give yourself up right away, and then it doesn't become exciting.
And it's like that saying, even though I hate to say it because it's annoying, but it's true. If like the saying, how does it go? It's like, you won't buy the cow if you get the milk for free, And that's just like true.
It's very true.
Like, why would you buy the cow? You get the milk for free.
Because I need that meat.
Based on your experience, do women orgasm often with their partners?
Depends on who their partner is. Depends on who their partner is. Because no, definitely not.
It sounds like you
Definitely not.
have the trauma from this particular subject.
She says no.
I'm just saying that I feel like most men just do what their ex liked or like never actually learned. And so then they just like
do the same thing.
Yeah, or like well just like
there's some men
jackrabbit you and you're like, what the fuck is even going
there's
on?
There's some men though that want to make you come before they do.
Yeah. No, there is. And I've met those men, but they're so far few in between.
Yeah. So. Mine's out the country, so
that is funny. Okay.
Gotta get yourself out the country.
You and your country.
Hey, I tried to date a guy across the across the country, but it didn't work out too well.
Why didn't that work out?
I was just like a loser and super boring.
Both of us.
You just know how to pick him.
I didn't have sex with him though. Hey, he seemed really, really interesting on FaceTime. Then I flew out to see him, and like he was just so dull. And
Maybe he
so-
was shy.
Ugh. Okay, well then that's not my man.
Okay, I got you.
I don't want a shy guy.
I got you. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Are you more submissive or dominant? Or you're one of those in between?
Unwillingly dominant, but
Unwillingly dominant.
I think I just accidentally take control of every relationship I've ever been in. But it's not that I want to. It's just I've never felt like any man I've dated was man enough to take.
But you want to be submissive.
I want to be in the middle.
Oh, you're,
because
yeah.
I do like to have control, you know, like that's
You're one of those confused ones.
No, that's just part
Is
of who I
what I
am. I want to
described.
have
That's the
mutual.
Gemini in her.
I wanna
That's
have-
that split personality.
I want to have mutual control, you know?
That's
And it's
that
not to
twin.
say that it's always going to be 50-50. No. Like sometimes I'll be 90, you'll be 10 and vice versa.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Where in what scenarios are you 90?
Everything. Yeah. I don't know. Give me a scenario. Like
I'm not in your relationships.
just everything. Like I feel like just in daily decisions, you know, or
You want to be 90 in daily decisions.
no, I don't. In where I would like to be submissive would be like in the bedroom, you know, and for dates and trips. I feel like I, with my ex at least, would always like plan the dates, plan the trips. Like everything we did was on me. Made sure you know, his bills were paid on time, mail was open, house was clean. Just like I just had everything in my hands. I was like his mom. And I don't want to be somebody's mom. And I feel like other guys I have dated kind of like they want me to be their fucking mom. And like I'm not your mom. So I don't want to be someone's mom, but I do like to have control in making decisions for the future, for daily stuff. Yeah, of course, like I don't want to just like let someone control everything and I'm just like, you know, go along with it. So like I want to be in the middle. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Like here, if we were gonna buy a house or a car or something, like I would never want my husband to like just go out and like buy a car without like asking me first, you know? So like make decisions together.
Sure. That's respecting your input though.
Yeah.
But have you ever met a very dominant guy? Not really. You don't know what they look like.
She's just, no.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, they seem dominant at first. And then they
They
start
want to
dating
be
me.
dominant.
Yeah. And then they just like, and then just somehow, some way, here I am just like on the top again. And like, I don't want that. And I don't try to. It's just my personality. I don't know.
Your personality, you start to take over and they just go with it.
And they just let me. Yeah.
And you just want
You
somebody
need someone to
who's
get
like,
the reins
hey,
on you.
Yeah.
sit the
It'd
fuck
be kind
down
of hot.
and
Be
just-
like, wait, I'm sorry. What? You know,
I get
but
that.
like, that's hard.
I get
It's
that.
harder to find out here than you would think.
Take my advice.
The problem is what
just
people
kidding.
don't realize is that a lot of times the patterns that you fall into is as a result of your subconscious response to the information that you've accumulated over time that you're unaware of, and therefore what becomes subconscious. But until you find those particular traits of yourself that you haven't really faced, you're going to keep continuously being the same cycle over and over again.
Well, that's why I recently changed my type. Like, I'm not dating the same kind of guy anymore. And yeah.
I don't think you understand what the definition of subconscious is.
I don't think I'm dating the same
Subconscious
kind of guy.
mind is crazy work.
Yeah, well, I've gone to therapy about it. And like, why do I keep ending up with these like bitch boy men? Like, I don't I'm tired of it, and like, but I think that I say I don't want control, and I don't, but I also think part of me maybe is afraid to like give it up because I don't trust. I don't trust that like somebody actually is going to make the right decisions for me. Mm-hmm. So like, if you want something done right, do it yourself,
Or so they say. And again, that is exactly why I like to call your generation with that sort of mentality confused. Mm-hmm. Because that's typically what ends up happening. Just very kind of like not unsure and uncertain. Because what ended up happening with your generation specifically was that you guys grew up in this society where the world was kind of like pulling from both ends of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. And everybody's still trying to decide, what's right and what's wrong.
Okay.
And you guys are like, and it was like at the beginning of the feminism movement, mm-hmm. and the women's having career movements, and then you guys growing up, that's what you're seeing. But the default mode for most women is the desire to be submissive and the desire to be with a man who is dominant. But once you get into your masculine, is what mm-hmm. what a lot of people say, mm-hmm. is you start to sort of feel this empowerment. Mm-hmm. And you start to feel like, oh, like I have control. Why would I want to let somebody else take control of my life when I could do it for myself? And especially if you're competent enough to be able to make the right decisions for yourself, mm-hmm. then more often than not, the imagination that somebody else is going to make a decision for you seems absurd, considering if I'm the one who's going to look after myself and have the best interests at heart, why would somebody else ever do the same? And on top of that, if you've experienced being with people who weren't not competent enough or as competent as you are, mm-hmm. and they didn't make the right decisions, then you obviously won't have trust for anybody else to do so.
Yeah. I think I just, rather than wanting someone to dominate, I think I just want to feel safe. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think I've ever felt safe with any man ever, Yeah. So, I mean,
you're 23.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like,
23.
Like even young. My dad, like mm-hmm. growing up, I'd see my dad like once a month, give me child support for my mom, and like that was that. So I just feel like, and then like all the men my mom brought around, horrible people, horrible men, horrible experiences my whole life growing up. So I think I kind of grew up with like a I hate men kind of complex.
Trauma bond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Type of event.
So like, I think I grew out of that a lot. I think I went through some like really horrible experiences that made me be like hate men for a really long time. Mm-hmm. And then I went to therapy for it for the longest time, and something so simple, but something that she told me that kind of like made me realize like not all men are bad, and there like could be good guys out there, is I became really close with my brother when I was 17 years old. We weren't close our whole lives, but something happened anyways, hit me up. We became really close. And I would die for my brother. Like, he is the one person in this world that, like,
trust.
No questions asked. Like, I will die for you, I'll lie for you, anything. Like, love my brother, he is my life, right? So she kind of brought that up to me of like, well, you hate men, you don't trust them, you're scared of them, blah, blah, whatever. She's like, are you scared of your brother? And I was like, no. And she's like, does your brother make you feel unsafe? I was like, no. And then she's like, when you're with your brother's friends, like, do you feel like they're bad guys? And I was like, no. Mm-hmm. She's like, you think they're all good guys? I'm like, yeah. She's like, so not all men are bad. And I was like, yeah, okay, I guess that's true. They're not all bad, And as simple as that may seem, it's really hard to come to terms with that when, like, your whole life you've only had trauma with men, right? So.
And this is the same mother you share with Scarlett, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to tell you something, and, not to be over the line here, but, maybe your therapist didn't cover this part. I'll give you a really good example. You know the difference between going to Whole Foods versus going to try and find food in trash cans.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is
Well,
the food in trash cans is trash.
Yeah, obviously, but like
and the
I
food
was
in Whole
want-
Foods is like, you know.
Yeah, I want to hear your point. I want to hear your point.
The point is that the person responsible is not the trash, nor the food at Whole Foods. The person responsible is the person picking the food.
Yeah.
And so it seems, and this is, you know, again, based upon what I know from Scarlett and now from you, your mom was the one picking these men. And as much as those men are to blame for the way that they are, sure, the reality of it is that she was the one selecting them and exposing her children to those men. And again, and this is not to, you know, try to assign blame to anybody, because I'm not a type of person that really cares about blaming other people for the shit that we experience, because at the end of the day, I think we're responsible for how we process things and how we allow things to affect us.
Yeah.
However, the outlook that you now have is purely based upon the experiences that you've had with these men that your mother specifically picked out. And just like anything in life, there is good and bad, and it just so happened that your mom picked all the bad ones,
All of them.
instead of any good at all. And she could have gone to Whole Foods to shop,
She could have.
but she instead
She
went to the
should've.
trash
She should have.
cans.
I wish she did.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that definitely I chose men the way she did, like when I was younger and stuff. But I'd like to say that I don't anymore. Like, I date these guys that let me take control, but the guys that I've dated recently, they've all been good guys. I just like didn't like them the same way back, you know? So, but I just think that I have a really hard time feeling safe with someone and comfortable. I don't know. You know, like, I think that was definitely a problem in my last relationship as well, is like, I literally said to him, like, I don't trust you 100%, and I never will. And he was like, well, what do you mean? Like, what did I do? And I was like, literally nothing. It's just the simple fact that you're a man. I will never 100% trust you. And like, I know that that's like a me issue, but I think I've just seen so many times the people around me that I love or whatever get treated so badly by someone that we thought loved them, and me too, you know, like I've been burned by my mom's boyfriends, by my sister's friends, by people in my life, my friends. So I just feel like I have trusted people, and then I've been proven and then I've been proven as to why I shouldn't, you know?
Understand.
So it's like really hard to like, it's just really hard to get there.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Someone.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being open and honest. You were great.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks
Cassidy,
for having me.
for your open and honest stories and the crazy wild life you've had.
That's only 2 parts of it.
I figured. I figured.
Oh, that's so
And thank you
funny.
guys for watching.